yesterday I was out and saw a game that I've actually been looking for quite some time. I can't tell if my camera's pointing at me or not. And I didn't get it. I don't know why. I didn't even look at it to see if it had the manual or anything in it. It's for the Sega Genesis. And every so often I do that. I'm like, eh. And it's not a cheap. I mean, it's not a really expensive game. But it's not really a cheap game. It's like kind of like a good price. And it's just something you just really never see. It's a game I rented a lot. Me and my brother played a lot. So I wish I'd have got it last night. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back and I want to see if they still have it. And if they do, look at it and see if it's actually in good condition. Because they have it in their case, so I didn't even ask to look at it. Which I'm just like, ah. So I don't even know if it had the manual or anything. So if it has the manual, it's a good price. If they don't have the manual in it, it's a bad price. That's how I always know it goes. Didn't even check to see if it did. But we'll see what we find out. Well, I just looked, and the game did not have the manual in it. So that means it's a little too expensive. It's kind of weird. The game is Mutant League Football, and if you have the manual with it, it's like, I don't know, depending on the condition and everything, it's like $35. Without the manual, it's like 25 bucks. They had it for 30. So it's kind of I didn't know if I was like, well, that's a good price if it has the manual with it. Look at it. Well, once you get look closer at it, you can tell the cover of it's sun faded, which I didn't like, but I can deal with that off the box. But there's no manual. So I was like, all right, never mind. I'm definitely not going to get it for that price for no manual with a sun-faded box. Yeah, talking about video game collecting and all the little nuances. So riveting. But yeah, we're going to get out later today and actually look around just Halloween stuff and things like that. But it's starting to rain. Fall's here pretty much. Leaves are starting to turn. I don't like it. Well, I do kind of like it and I don't like it. I like it that it's not going to be like humongous temperature swings for very much longer. And the cold doesn't bother me that much. But the inability to get outside and do things for long periods of time, that kind of bothers me. But that's how it goes. Next summer will be really fun. Because Adrian's getting a little bit older now, he's actually able to do more. So I'm wanting to get him out and do things. So next summer, he should hopefully I can be able to take him hiking on some big trails and stuff like that. I say big trails for him. But yeah, see how it goes. Since today's been kind of a collecting day, I was going to talk about, in case you're not familiar with video game collecting, pretty much everything's all about condition. Like everything from how clean the cartridge is, to the sticker, to the contacts, and are there marks on the game. Then when you get to Sega Genesis, a lot of those come in hard plastic cases. And then you got the hard plastic case. Does it have this little tab on the top of it? It didn't. And is it sun faded? Things like that. Does it have the manual with it? So that makes a huge difference with Sega Genesis games. So I actually got two games here I was going to show you. And one is Altered Beast. So most of my games at least I have the manual case in the game. There's a few I have just games, but those are very few and far between. Most of them have the game, the case, and the manual. And a lot of them have this little tab on them. That little tab's not that important to me, but when it does have that tab, it's not really that big of a deal to me. But I know if I want to resell it, that actually means a lot to some people. But Altered Beast, I love this game. It's one of my favorite games. But if you look at this case, it's in pretty rough shape. There's a place here on it. The edge is all beat up down here. On the back, it's all beat up. So yeah, it's not a very good copy. It's missing that little tab, which This is the manual that had one. Some games I think didn't have them, but when you look at the side, it doesn't have the manual either. So, if you look at the case, the game itself is all pretty much beat up too. So yeah, I'm not a big... this game I only bought because of how much I paid for it. I paid $3. That price will let me get a game like this, but it's like I paid $3 for it. It's not an extremely expensive game. But then there's like this Beavis and Butthead game. I played this when I was younger. I really loved this game also. But it has the case, has the manual, and it has the game. And everything's in really good condition. So that's the reason why I picked this. I think this is maybe $10, $15. I can't remember. It's been a while since I bought it. But this is the way I like to buy my Sega Genesis games, because I want them to have everything. And lots of things about some of the Sega Genesis games, which these two are the same size, it looks like. But not all of them, not all the cases are the same size. Some of them are thicker than the others, and some of them are thinner. So when it's a little bit harder to say, oh, I'll just get a new case. I'll just take a case from like a sports game and then put it in my game. Well, you can't really do that always, because sometimes they're not the same size. That's kind of an idea. That's kind of, I just want to give it a little insight, because like that game at Half Price Books was sun faded, so it means like it was probably sold at a flea market, and it's probably still on their table for quite some time. Well, they set them out. It's there all day in the sun, and it's probably there for weeks, if not months, before somebody picked it up. And that's the reason why if you see like two games and one of them really, like, the color looks really off, like it's been faded really bad, it's probably got sun fade damage, and that's probably, they just come from a flea market. Like, there's a lot of resellers of those that sell the games. But yeah, that's the, so like that's like a lot of times the sun damage would be on the front and not on the back. That's the way the Mutant League football was. The front of it, they had it in a case, and they had it kind of angled sideways, because they had it setting up vertically like this. But instead of it being directly forward, it was angled like this. So, because they had other games in there with it, so it's really hard to tell it was sun faded until when they pulled it out. And the second he handed it to me, I was like, yeah, this is really bad. And then I opened it and saw there was no manual. So that's the reason why I didn't get that game. But yeah, that's kind of an insight into video game collecting for the Sega Genesis, and it's kind of the same for all of their systems, but just didn't want you to think I was trying to be a snob. I don't want to pay a lot more for a video game when the condition that's in doesn't warrant the price. But I think with that, I think I'm going to end the vlog.